You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NACS. Whether it's for food, fuel, drinks, or snacks, about half the U.S. population shops at a convenience store every day. We'll talk about what we see at stores and what the future may hold for our industry.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Schnare with NACS.
And I'm Stephanie Sikorski with NACS.
And today we're going to talk about why affiliating with charities like the American Red Cross and others can really drive business results to make your convenience brand purpose-driven and authentic to really help you connect with customers and create brand loyalty. Hello, I am joined today and lucky to have Ms. Selma Boole, Vice President of Marketing Strategy and Creative for the American Red Cross on the phone. Selma, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Well, we really appreciate you taking some time today. We wanted to talk a little bit about how affiliating with charities is really important. We've talked many times on many different episodes of Convenience Matters about how giving back to your customers, getting close within your communities is really helpful for not only business, but those communities in which we serve. And I can't think of a better charity to talk about than the American Red Cross, because not just like us in convenience stores, we're in every community across the country and across the world, in fact. But you guys are too. You're in a lot of places. You're there when people need it, when our customers are in need, whether it's a disaster or just an everyday occurrence that unfortunately strikes. And it's really important that we can help partner with charities like the American Red Cross.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today, and thank you so much for highlighting the work of the Red Cross. You're absolutely right. Both of us focus very much on giving back to our communities, and we're really an important part of the fabric of the community. Just as you have, I think 1 out of 2 people goes to a convenience store every day or a fuel retailer. We serve 35,000 people every single day in some form or another. That's about 1,400 people an hour. And we can't do this great work without the important support from people and businesses throughout the country. And we are so grateful for the support from the business community and retailers in particular. I think we work with so many of your members, and the support that we get from you year-round is really, it's what powers and enables our mission every day.
And Selma, you had talked about partnerships, and you mentioned the retailer side from our end, knowing that you partner with a lot of folks across different parts of the community. Why is that so important, not just from your business side, but also for businesses that are thinking about partnerships?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of consumer research these days on consumer behavior and their perceptions and attitudes towards companies and brands that get involved in social causes and in society. And what we do know from the 2017 Cone Communication study on corporate social responsibility, for example, is that 92% of U.S. consumers say that when a company supports a cause, they, the consumer, will have a more positive image of that company. And 88% say that they're much more likely to be loyal to that company or brand that supports a cause. But it's also important to know that consumers are looking for authentic relationships and an authentic partnership. They can see right through when somebody's just doing it, to improve their brand versus having that commitment to the community. And what we've found with business partners and the retailers in particular, because you are so integral to the community, you do give back, and people see that, right? We have had incredibly successful partnerships with some of your members, like Circle K, for example. We started the relationship with them for the Circle K West Coast division, and then the partnership moved on to include Circle K in Florida and the Carolinas division. And over the past 6 years alone, we have Circle K has actually raised $12 million for the American Red Cross. That's amazing. That's money that goes back to help people in those communities. They do fundraisers, customer donation programs year-round, and it's really amazing what huge impact those small donations, if your change back, 50 cents here, 40 cents there, maybe $1 there, can really add up and make a huge difference.
And Selma, there's something that you mentioned that I just want to underscore, because corporate social responsibility, you're in marketing, I'm in marketing, it's a buzzword that didn't exist too long ago, and a lot of people were using it differently, but now it's no longer, I'll call it an angle that you can take. You talked about consumer trust and consumer behavior. It's expected now. But the other piece of that, I think, is that it's not just good for the heart or community. You've touched on what it means for other partners, retailers, in our case, from the convenience side, and what that can do for business, especially when you're authentic and you build that trust.
Yeah, very much so. It's, I don't know if you're familiar with the Cohn Porter Novelli study, but they call this, it goes beyond just corporate social responsibility, but they really refer to it as purpose, right? Purpose-driven brands. And, the majority of Americans, over 3/4 of Americans, believe that companies must do more than just make money. They now expect companies to positively impact society as well. That's a pretty big responsibility that consumers are placing on those with whom they do business, those who they believe, deserve their hard-earned dollars every day on their products. And so we are extremely proud of our purpose-driven partnerships. We're seeing record numbers of partners whose own employees are volunteering hours with the Red Cross, who are hosting blood drives with us, who are obviously collecting donations at checkout from their customers. Some of your retailers, for example, some of your members I know, during large-scale disasters, give out free coffee to disaster volunteers, for example, and other first responders that are on the scene. And we're also training employees in CPR and first aid, critical skills that are life-saving when a first responder, before a first responder can even get there. So it makes, as you said, it makes really good, it's good for the community, but it's also really good business sense to engage in these authentic and purpose-driven partnerships.
I think you touched...
I will say...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you... I think
go ahead. Please.
Sorry, it was very important where you said about employees. I think engaging employees is not only for our industry, for any industry, but especially the convenience industry. This year and prior years before it, and I'm sure coming up even beyond, will be tough to find employees who want to stick around, who really invest in their company that they're putting their life in. You're at work almost more than you're at home, and if you're giving back, I think purpose driven is extremely beneficial. It's a huge employee benefit, and then when you get them involved, I think that's also important. When they're just asking if a customer wants to donate to this or that, they might not be as invested. But if they believe in the cause, if they believe in who it's helping, and they can see it being beneficial, like the Red Cross, they can see within the groups, especially during like a disaster, but anywhere, like whether you're donating to a local PTA or a school group or anything, when you can see the funds going to the people that are using it, I think that helps engage employees as well. And it's a great selling point to come work for us, come be part of not only our company, but our company's community.
I think that's a great point. I mean, when you're talking about a differentiator, right? And you're choosing, especially we're in a healthier economy, there's lots of options. So in some cases, this might be the deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would say, it's really it's a virtuous circle, right? Because it's self-reinforcing. They see that the company and the retailer is committed to a cause that goes back into the community. They then feel pride in that cause. And then that reflects back on their employer by having them become, more loyal to the employer, to the retailer, to the employer. Morale is improved. And so it's a win-win all around. And it's really wonderful to see, greater engagement from everybody.
So, Selma, we've talked a lot about what it means to be engaged with a charity, and there's certainly a number of different options that are available, especially if a retailer is thinking about engaging with someone. But let's bring it back to where you are. Why would someone or should they think about the Red Cross? What does that mean in terms of the value that you bring?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's actually, I love working for the Red Cross, not only because of our mission and all the work that we do to help people in need every day, but as a marketer, I love working for such a strong brand. And by partnering with the Red Cross, that brand halo extends to our partner brands, giving them more brand lift than any other leading charity. One of the longest running brand equity studies in the world, in fact, is called the Brand Asset Valuator. They look at something like 56,000 brands across all categories in both the for-profit as well as the nonprofit sectors. And if you look at the 5-year average, we, meaning the American Red Cross, lead the category in brand stature, which is a measure of how well known the brand is, but also just as importantly, how well respected and trusted that brand is. No charity outscores us. In fact, we offer our brand, our business partners, twice the brand lift than the average charity. I think that is a really compelling case. When you partner with the American Red Cross, some of the attributes that our brand helps to convey and can then extend to the partner brand are attributes like kind, helpful, reliable, a leader, trustworthy, a brand that's socially responsible and straightforward. The research shows that we are more trustworthy than 99% of all brands across all categories, and we're more visionary than 96% of brands. So these are really terrific attributes and ones that can help lift your brand as well if these are areas that maybe you're not as strong in. But if you are as strong in those areas, it certainly helps to reinforce your standing within the community and within your consumers' eyes.
So that's incredible. I mean, I knew it was in the high 90s, but 99% is amazing. So turning a little bit to how listeners can get involved. So you mentioned some amazing retailers within our industry, Circle K. I know Wawa and Cumberland Farms does a lot with you. But we, because of our unique partnership or our alliance with the Red Cross, we've been able to make it plausible for small independent operators, stores with or companies with fewer than 10 stores to get involved with the Red Cross. And I think that's a great opportunity for a retailer, a small one, with very few stores, to really just embrace this 99% trustworthiness, to really get out there and just be a part of their community. And we make it so easy.
Well, I have to tell you, I really need to commend you because you guys have done a fantastic job in making it easy for your members to get involved in charitable work and to really help them stand out from the crowd. We are honored to have been named as one of the 3 charities of choice for NACS members. For any of your retailers, small retailers, medium-sized retailers, even the large ones, if they haven't already dipped their toes into this water and they want to see how do they go about, forming a charitable partnership, I would encourage them to go take a look at the charities of choice that NACS has partnered with. Choose the charity that best aligns with their own values. And then from there, really look at their marketing calendar for the year. What is a good time of year for them to be promoting a charitable cause? We know that for some of our partners, they actually used to run campaigns during slow times of the year because they know it increases their store traffic. Maybe you have an anniversary or a new store opening that's coming up. Those are all really good times to run those campaigns. And the good news is that most charities have turnkey campaigns that businesses can easily plug into, right? It doesn't take a lot of work. But the great thing that I think NACS has done to help your, especially small and medium-sized operators, is by developing an in-store kit for them to use that's free of charge that they can download from the website from convenience.org/Red Cross. The kit has an employee engagement handbook on how to sort of run the campaign. It has point-of-sale material, including UPC codes for the cash registers. It has employee buttons, which are really great tools to create awareness and let people know that you're participating in this, and other marketing collateral. So it's a really fantastic toolkit. It's available to your members, and it's a really wonderful way to get started and differentiate yourself in your community.
Oh, yeah. Since we launched that, I mean, Stephanie, we've heard several success stories or just really enthusiastic members, single store operators. There's someone out of Pennsylvania who reached out and said that they are just getting like so many kudos from their customers that they can do this. And they feel so, the retailers feel so empowered that they can start in on a program like this, even though they only have one or two stores.
Right.
And I mean,
and actually, if I may add as well, as a special thank you to NACS members who are in fact ordering this free in-store kit, we are offering them T-shirts or a free CPR training to recognize one of their SAR employees, for example. So it's our way to say thank you for all the work that you guys are doing to help support us as well.
Well, we, certainly. So anybody listening, certainly go to convenience.org/Red Cross to learn more. And I mean, as you mentioned, if there's some bigger companies listening too, we can certainly hook you up. I mean, you call me, it's Carolyn Schnare. Just give me a call, find me on Convenience Matters, and I will hook you up right away with Selma and her team at the Red Cross, and they'll get you started.
We would love that.
So Selma, you mentioned Circle K. They are one of your great partners that you've worked with. And you mentioned some of the customer programs that they've been doing with their with the Red Cross volunteers themselves. What are some other key takeaways that a listener, a retailer, a vendor, someone who wants to work with the Red Cross, what's some important things that they should take away from this and how to get involved right away?
Yeah, I think what's really great is that, Circle K, I think one of the lessons that we learned, I mentioned earlier that consumers seek authenticity. And what we have seen is that committed, sustained partnerships really yield the best results and the greatest value to both parties. And Circle K is a great example of that. Wawa is another great example. We've had a partnership with Wawa now for over 20 years, right? And it includes all aspects of our mission from, blood drives to in-store fundraising and financial grants. So the more that we see these deep, meaningful relationships, the more we see the benefits that accrue back to the retailer, as well as the benefits that, the Red Cross reaps from them. But it's just really important, for somebody who's looking to get involved, figure out, when is the right time to get involved. But we also know that there is a strong correlation between awareness and engagement, right? So, when you do decide on running a charitable campaign, look to let the public know. Have the employees, wear buttons or pins. Definitely take advantage of in-store signage so that your consumers know what it is that you're doing to give back. send out a press release, maybe if that's appropriate for you, or look at other ways of getting the word out into the community. And it's a great way to bring folks not only into the store. It increases traffic, but it makes your store really the focal point of something good that everybody wants to be a part of.
I think that's a great point for us to end with there, Selma. And another resource available on convenience.org is a community PR toolkit. So for all of those ideas that you just shared with our listeners, they can download that kit for free as well.
Thank you, Selma. We really appreciated all your time today. And thank you for listening to Convenience Matters.
Convenience Matters is brought to you by NACS and produced in partnership with Human Factor. For more information, visit convenience.org.